Hello on this beautiful Thursday again from Florida. And of course, it's shining day here. Shining day. The sun shines. Okay. It's beautiful again. No more rain, no more soaking. And we were waiting for Magdalena, who just joined us. I was just introducing myself. Did I? Toni Weel. I'm Toni Weel, originally from the Netherlands, 20 years in Florida. So I did not like Florida at first, and now it's like, it's not as cold anywhere else. And Magdalena came in. I was just doing the introduction, Magdalena, when I approved your in, and I was talking about Florida, how I did not like Florida at first, but now I appreciate the warmth, not the heat, the warmth. So we have with us also Sara from Virtuous Unicorns, my beautiful co-host. And I always say I wouldn't be able to do it without her, but I love doing it with her. And now we have Magdalena White with us, aka the Raw Coconut Girl. And she has been with us once before, but she just had to be with us again. And we had not made any plans about what we're going to talk about. We'll just see where it goes. So here you go, Magdalena. I leave it now at first up to you.
Oh my God.
Hey, beautiful.
Well, where are the questions? I'm waiting for questions.
Yeah. We always say, you can't ask questions, but when we started it at first, my God, we got, 20, 30 questions, and it's like it all slowed down. In the last 3 years, I think everything slowed down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think people are just getting lost in all the information that I receive, and they don't really know which one is the powerful one, because it's just too much around that it's happening. And I think, we just need to push it through and keep going, Yeah,
I go by the most questions that I do see in the groups is, of course, that what we have struggled with, or most people have struggled with in the last 3 years. And it's almost a word you cannot use, because then, your video is removed. But it was actually a question again. It's talking about, I have COVID for the second time, or I have long COVID, or I have. It's always related to something, and you get to a point that it's like, okay, how are we going to answer this once and for all? But I don't think there is a once and for all. We can't keep saying it's, there's no such thing. But it keeps floating around. And now with the new upcoming, as so they say, again, the mandates.
So the very disappointing thing for me is that they, of course, took down videos that I had with Dr. Marcy that we made way before, and there were just, some of them were just like health conscious videos, and then we also had practitioner perspective on vaccines, and there was nothing negative about the subject. Like, we never even said any kind of like we said it in a very kind way that people have options, so we give A options and we give B, right, option, and it still was removed not a long time ago, like I think like 2 weeks ago, and it hurts because I have a copy, I have originals of the videos, but on the other hand, it's just like very disappointing, and it shows that why removing these videos, then it's clearly showing that what we are preaching is the truth, and they just don't want us to expose much information about it, which is very sad. But I noticed a lot of people are waking up, and I don't know, even just meeting people at the airport or just like traveling around, everybody's talking about the same thing, about they always come back to COVID, they always come back to the past, and um, people are not supporting it, and people are against now, after seeing all of these issues, after just, these incidents that happen after getting, you know, mosquitoes bites. So, yeah, I feel like people is going to be more aware of all of that right now. And I know in Europe, they're starting pushing all this stuff again. Yeah, it's definitely something coming again. But, I feel like people are more aware. And even though the ones that were vaccinated, looks like that didn't work well enough, since they became more aware. Like, I know a lot of people like that, and they regret a lot of things that happened in their life, that if they could turn back time, they would definitely pick a different road. But there is what it is. And now, luckily, we know, how to support that, and just like growth in this, and hopefully have a positive results with that.
I'm always for with whatever symptoms we have, is like stop putting stuff in your body.
Yeah.
It is more about elimination than about adding all kinds of treatments. And we know ivermectin is a big one that everybody always comes back to. And I understand that it was actually a horse deworm treatment. So then you would say that it's actually being used as if we have parasites in our body. But I can't see any, I'm sure a lot of us have parasites in our body, but I can't see the symptoms that we have that are needed to clean out our bodies are related to anything like that. What would you say about it?
Yeah, absolutely. All the parasites, all the things, the toxins and environment is definitely a key here if it comes to detox. And now when someone is taking herbs and things, but the environment is unhealthy, of course, there's no way that person's gonna get better, and then they will come to us detox specialists and they're like, hey, I'm not getting better. Well, you gave me that protocol, I'm not getting better. Well, there could be a lot of things, there could be these parasites that they're still sitting in you, and also the environmental thing that comes from the environment as well, because parasites can be created also through stress. They need to come from the food only. And that's, they just love weak organisms. So if they feel weakness, they're just gonna enter the body, through the water or anything, just like splash of a little something on your, I don't know, face, and they crawl on the body that we can see them with a bare eye, but that's what it's happening. And then these microorganisms are just living in us. And yeah, it's not like something definitely that it's that we can avoid. We need these things. And I also think there is a reason why we can have parasites or other animals. I like to call them animals, little creatures in us. So we can actually also thrive, because without that, we wouldn't be able to thrive. So, I believe that it's a beautiful, like, I personally, I was like on because I've been on fruits for almost a decade, only fruits. My mom even says that I've been like most of my life, because I didn't want to eat anything but fruit unless I was forced to eat something else. But yeah, so throughout this time, I don't remember anything in my poop that looked like a worm. But after like 7 years of being intense for doing so many protocols, but I also had a lot of anesthesias in my life, and I went through a lot of trauma with my body. traffic accidents and stuff. So after that, I actually had to detox all of that, and it took me 7 long or whatever short years to release worms. First worms, and that was a full toilet of it. And I know that I released all of them because I don't have issues with my stomach anymore like I used to have, even being on fruits. They were exposing my weaknesses, and I don't have that anymore. So these parasites come from many sources, and definitely deworming yourself is the number one thing. If that was your question.
It wasn't really a question. It was more about the relationship of parasites, ivermectin, and COVID. Yeah, because they use ivermectin, which is a horse dewormer, for COVID. And that made me think is, is it then the parasites in our body that are acting up, and we get those symptoms, and the symptoms are like detox symptoms. We need to clean out ourselves.
I see what you're saying. Sorry, just like things are falling out here. Yeah. I do believe that just that me being, I can only tell on my example and what I feel like it's happening here. Me being clean and being in an environment that wasn't or is not, I can feel side effects on me. I do feel side effects on me, and I do see how these people are changing around me, that they were trying to treat COVID, with a lot of things, and treat COVID, and after even being just taken care by medical field on another level before. So yeah, and I experienced having clients that were releasing a lot of stuff, but they still struggle with just like emotional healing, and that can be also connected to the parasite. I don't know if I really answer your question correctly, or I don't understand what you're meaning by that, but that's my understanding of that.
Yeah,
Let me know.
Maybe I'm just wondering why people keep going to the ivermectin and say that it's helping, because I feel if you have symptoms, then you don't want to suppress them.
No, yes, no, you don't want to suppress them. You wanna remove them and get to the root of the problem. And if you're gonna come back to take something like that, you just put a band-aid right on a problem, and it's gonna be.
That's why things keep coming back.
Yes, and that's why when I see all these people, it comes back again to my example when I'm just like seeing now after like 5 years of not being on, and like, I mean, I was in the mainland when I was working in Florida, but I was just between Dr. Morse's clinic and Hawaii. But now I just got back to just New York, Pennsylvania. I haven't been in these places for like a few years, and seeing friends and even family members, I just can't tell the difference. And but there's a lot of people that are against taking it. They're against taking anything after, even that they were exposed on some things, and they are against. So not everyone, I would say, is following it. I would think there are people who have shared opinion, and not everybody maybe got the same thing. So that's why they're not coming back to that, because perhaps they just had a different experience, and it's like they got a different food that they've been fed with, I would say. Maybe that.
Yeah, I think it's the same when we have the cold of the flu. Even then, the symptoms are not always similar.
No, yes, Yes, and it's what I'm talking about, the food, I was just talking about how we are fed by just the higher, I don't know, headquarters of the country, you know what I mean? It's just like how they want us to eat, instead of how we want to eat. And that definitely creates can create an unhealthy environment in a body. Looking at this too, I don't know, Polish fruit, it's completely different than American fruit. When I ate my first fruit in the States, I didn't like it. It tastes like a cardboard. So imagine having not a good quality of fruit, and then getting all the treatments and get all the other aspects that are offering us in the market. And then people get addicted because it's not clean, it's not pure, and it can contain a lot of toxins. The stuff that they're putting even on the skin, people don't wash their fruits. I've seen a lot of kids eating just the fruit from the basket, taking like that, and they didn't even care that it wasn't washed. Because it's from, I don't know, this and this grower. Well, but if you don't grow by your own fruit, you don't know. Same with herbs, you don't know if they don't spray anything, or if something that wasn't sprayed around that place, I don't know, by neighbor or something. But that can create also response, and people have a different growth of their pineal gland, pituitary, hypothalamus, and just the whole body, whole lymphatic system in the brain is changing, and in a head area is changing within time. And you can put more acidic stuff in it or less. And then once people get addicted, and they're going to be follow the crowd, and some going to be like, wait a minute, I don't know where to go. And the other one will be like, heck no, I'm not doing it, And there's another factor that could be genetic weakness and strength too, right? That we are bringing on the table too. So is it worth it to take it, to follow the crowd? That's just a good, a question to answer, because if we continue doing that, it's like, I don't know, it's like cleaning the bathroom every time you go in there, it's all the time, never ending story. After each time you use it, it's always like gonna be messy. You need to clean after yourself. So even I don't know, kitchen, anything, living room. So it's same with this. It's just never ending story. Why don't you just stop and keep it organized, so you don't need to clean it up? You know what I mean? All the time. Just keep it organized. Organize your body, your cells, and I think as long as we follow it and with a true heart, everything is possible to achieve. There's always a light in a tunnel, right?
Yeah, that's Sara always says, we do the best that we can, Dr. Morse too. And we are provided with certain things, and not everybody can grow their own food. I did find that whatever I have been growing tastes so much better than what I found in the stores. And I do go to local farms too, but there's a lot in the air. And I'm not known for always washing the fruits well, the strawberries I do, but the other berries, they're so soft, and I clean them with distilled water to get stuff off. But I do use organic. But yeah, what we grow ourselves is so much better. It is kind of funny. We talk about the air, and I came across a message this morning on Facebook about the area where I live in, and everywhere, and it's not only the town I live in, but all the towns around it, they say it smells like poop, and nobody knows where it's coming from. And there are some industries around here, but there's no real reason why it should smell like poop. And then Willem, my husband, made a mention, because he travels all over Florida. He says there is always everywhere this constant smell of dead animals.
Oh my God.
And that is all over Florida. And we don't know where it's coming from. And it is like I once learned that once you can smell it, it's also getting into your body.
Yeah.
But I am like, I can't worry about it. It is what it is. I cannot change it. I
Yeah.
can just eat as clean as I can and stick with my fruit. I've been very good this whole week, only fruits.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Yeah, and you know what? Once you are on all fruit and you don't even add, I had one time I had a little bit of avocado and right away I got hungry. When I'm on all fruit, I'm not hungry at all. So that tells
Yeah.
you that, the
Hydration
fats
is,
in the food is just not helping you.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But there's another question that comes up a lot in the groups too, and even with my clients, it's about mold.
Yeah.
And growing up in the Netherlands, and it's always raining. It's very high humidity. And the last house that I lived in there for almost 20 years had a huge black mold problem. And yeah, I left there, and then I came in a house here, and I came in a house that also had mold, but not the black mold. But I learn about people now who have lived in black or in moldy houses, environments, and they cannot seem to heal. And then it is like, okay, if all the fruit does not work, where do we go? What do we do?
I don't believe so because, oh yeah, I mean, unless you still live in that environment, right? If
Right.
you would, yeah, because I lived in a multi house as well in Hawaii, and in Hawaii we lived in that was in Kihei. Kihei is dry, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got a mold in Kihei? Impossible, because it's like a desert area. It doesn't rain." Well, we got mold, and the landlord didn't do anything with that. I started to cough. I started having really the difficulties with breathing, and my clothes got white. All the house started getting white, and my landlord came. She's like, you may stay here overnight, but there will be a guy that's gonna clean it up for you. I'm like, yeah, but if you touch that mold, you're gonna expose me even more. So there was a big issue with that. And then so she didn't want to do anything with that at the beginning. And then the mold started to overgrow. I just left. I'm like, I'm not staying in this house. And well, we're coming back then, and they figure out that there is a black mold under the bathtub. And that's where it started, because the sewer system wasn't done correctly. So everything from the toilet was going out, and the sewer system of the bathtub, literally, it was wrong connection. It was horrible. So anyway, we got a black mold, and I got super congested. I couldn't breathe. I was really, really sick. In a house, if someone's gonna stay in a house, and I think we talked about it in the past as well, Toni, about the house, because I feel like the reason number one is, yes, the house that you live in. And if you don't have a clean environment in a house, and if there's mold present, that means you live in a self-damaging room. You know what I mean? Like, it's helping you to not to heal. It's actually doing the reverse. It's actually doing an opposite, which can damage your tissues even more. So instead of I don't know, fruit working in your favor, they're gonna be working against everything you wanted, because they're also gonna be kind of like that energy from mold will be having impact on their behavior of their alive energy behavior as well in the body. It will be subtracted. It's gonna be not able to go into the way I don't know, of being alive in your body, like moving your lymph. Your lymph is going to be stagnant. It's just a natural process in chemistry and physics, right? When you have acidic environment, there is no way we can heal inside. And it also brings negative energy. And then people argue at home because they don't feel well. And they don't know where it's coming from. A lot of people don't even know they have moldy houses, moldy environment. So yeah, that's very important to check and always try to find a place that it's mold free, and start whole the detox journey again from the beginning and just detox that crap out.
Now, which one of the Dr. Morse formulas would you say would be the most important in that case?
I would start with deworming for sure, because it has connections to it. You need to have a clean colon as well to in order to absorb nutrients and also protect yourself, right? And the head area. So if this is congested, how the head can be protected? And then you can't even think properly. I think it's important to always take care of your bowel. It's always important to take care of your bladder, which is, of course, number one, and lymphatic system, always. But also, on top of that, I believe it's important to take care of your brain, the core, and the liver. These are very important subjects, same with like endocrine system to support that. Doesn't need to be a crazy protocol, in my opinion, but just these aspects, like the main, I would say, in my opinion, the main support would be welcomed, by your body, and will be happy with it, and just go with it, and just like support it as you go. And once you feel that you struggle, I would push it more personally. I like to struggle and detox. It's not happening often, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately. Maybe I am fortunate because I have strong genes. So someone with weaker genes is going to be feeling more weaker, and may feel that they struggle with even going through detoxification process. So maybe you just want to go slower. Maybe, I know some specialists can recommend you, take it 3 times a day. You have to. That's a protocol. You don't have to. You don't have to anything. You go with the flow. I like to say every acidosis is different. So we are the same, but we are different. So we have different acidosis in the body. So if you're having that thing in you that is already acidic on a different level than somebody else's, there is no way you're going to be able to, your body won't be even able to accept all these dosages of herbs. And they're very potent, they're very high, they're very strong. This is the highest energy that it's literally not touched by human. It's just so pure, innocent. Like I'm talking here about wildcrafted herbs. And it's just so unhybridized. It's just so pure. So getting that, just utilize it in a proper way. And I believe that the proper way is exactly what we were talking about. Just trusting the process, and also have that environment that it's healthy. I think that would be the most crucial thing to do, in my opinion.
Well, I agree. It's I remember the last time I saw you that you mentioned we were actually eating, and you had a big melon, I think, and you take your we were sitting at the beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned something about it is eating and taking your formulas. There was something to it, and I forgot what you said. You have to take it at the right time.
Oh, yeah, yes, I believe so. It's I like to recommend everyone to it's like, so let's say I have a client that I'm gonna tell, hey, just take it once a day, few drops. That's it. I don't care about even what the bottle says. If you are tuned into healing as you are, then you can play with herbs, and you know what your guidance is telling you. And please remember, Dr. Morse is not sitting personally there doing these herbs. So there are people that are doing it as well. So we also need to, this is another consideration, big. And also just keep in mind that everyone is human and some herbs can be stronger than others. They won't be evenly made. So the way they make it with the full moon, all the moon phases, same is with us taking these herbs. So everyone is different. Let's say one person is going to need it 3 times a day, so it's good to take it on an empty stomach in the morning. In my opinion, for one person will be just have your breakfast and then have your herbs. It all just depends when you are coming from. Or have your herbs and 20 minutes later have your meal, like I had it with you. I had my melon because I was just hungry, or you follow your intuition. A lot of people don't have that intuition. A lot of people's intuition is lost while they're taking herbs, because that beautiful energy enters their body and that bad energy is trying to fight it over, and they started to clash with each other. And it's just a lot of acidosis is, as a side effect of it, right, that it's created. So in order to keep the balance and not causing these fights in the body, and also detox in a calm, proper level, in my opinion, is a balance, and not doing what just other people tell you. As just following, as a healer, your perspective of healing, and just teach people on that you need to be flexible. It's not a Bible that is written this way and you need to believe in that sentence that it says that way. It's even Dr. Morse is teaching us to be flexible, to be open, have open heart to everything you do, and just trust the process. So yeah.
I think the problem is that we are so programmed that everything has to be in a certain way. And that is what people like to follow, because I get it with clients that they want to know exactly what to do from day to day to day. And I was, I really wanted to write a book, and then it's like, yeah, but then I make it like, okay, then they don't listen to themselves anymore. They don't listen to their body and their intuition.
Yes.
And yeah, but there are people who still need it. So I'm still it's still in my mind to make something like a 90-day transformation to and maybe to learn about your intuition too. I think that is important, knowing what to do, listening to your body.
Absolutely.
I know Sara had a question. She mentioned that before. And that was actually related to what was talked about briefly on the last, we did an iridology reading on the last podcast.
Really cool.
Yeah, with KC. And she does live readings, and it was very interesting. But Sara, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to chime in first what you all were just talking about too. And I do run into people the same with intuition. And I always just tell them that it comes. And the more fruit you take in, the more you start listening to your body, the more you do your groundings and being part of nature. And it's a practice at first because we're not used to it. But then it's like a remembering, almost like that you remember your body will tell you things. You start remembering how to hear things and see signs and stuff like that. And to me, I think that I love experimenting with that almost every single day, just walking outside, listening to myself, listening to nature, and just seeing all the signs that are out there. And that is such a beautiful part of this journey that I love to talk about that with people, and it does come. And the more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. It's almost like you're working out a muscle all the time. The more you work at it, the stronger it becomes, and you can really start relying on that.
Yeah, fully. Yeah. That's a big time. Yeah, beautifully said. It's so true. It's like with a relationship too, right? You need to take care of it in order to make it work. So we create that relationship with these I don't know, tinctures to this lifestyle. This is our, like, you know, our wedding. We are married to each other. Now you're going to stay forever, to the rest of my life with me. You don't need to be obsessed about it. Of course, take time, take breaks. A lot of people just diving into these detoxes, and you know, and then we experiencing health issues, or struggles, and or I don't know, even we heard of some people passing away. Well, I believe it's just too much, you know, just relax, calm down. And I know also that detox can also bring negative side of it. It's not always good. It can turn into, I would say, obsession. It can, because I just saw it. I just saw it, and I can relate to all of these, a lot of things. And you just want to be grateful, I believe. So I don't want to say anybody, of course, who they want to be or they should be, but I believe this is just helpful during this process to know, to ask experienced people, right? Like, we all took protocols, we all did all the healing on ourselves, or we are still doing. And it's important, in my opinion, to show people how to behave, even just how to try to not stick out of that. I mean, actually, no, change the thinking that they were taught to follow, even in any school, but also as a detox specialist. That's why the whole point is Dr. Morse's teachings are the whole structure, right? The fundamental thing, but then everything comes from the practice as we go. And that's a big lesson to, of course, to take and learn.
It is. And people need to learn to be gentle with their bodies. There's a lot of people that come to Dr. Morse, I'm sure to yourself, and they come to Toni, that they are in emergency situations, which those have to be handled differently.
Yes.
But the majority of the people that might just tune in and they're starting to look into this journey, it's so important that even if you're not feeling symptoms or you're not seeing anything, to start this process before you start seeing stuff, because detox is very hard. And people don't really realize that. They think, oh, I'm just going to go on and just do this and then I'll come out the other end. But you're right, there is an emotional part of it. There's you go through so many different levels of it, and it's I guess it is kind of like a badge you can wear too, to say you did it, but it's not like a badge that I want to say that I had to go through that.
Yes.
To be able to do it very slowly and go through that process, you'll be able to be more gentle on your body and possibly have a much better experience than if you waited to the last minute to have to jump in and do these.
Yes, really good point. Absolutely. Always make it on. But the thing is, a lot of people are just not ready. And I noticed, like, I had a client the other day, and she's like, you know, I want to push my husband to do that. I'm like, don't push. Please don't push, because he ended up not doing it. And even if you're going to push him, he will have that negative impact even on you, because he already gonna reject you, you know. Just
Absolutely.
show the way, show how you healing, and then eventually you can bring someone in.
Yep. Lead by example. That is the best advice I can give anyone, is you change yourself and people will see that. And when they are ready, they will want to change too. I don't know if you've ever listened to any of our shows, but I've talked about, like, with my husband, he still has what he calls meat days, but that's maybe 1 or 2 a week now, where he was 100% carnivore, loves steak, eggs, steak, bacon, everything, every single day. And
Wow.
for him, just seeing my journey, and then he's doing his journey and all the things he's seen, it's just amazing. And so, and to hear his thought process, but that all came on his time and in his way.
Yes.
And to tell you the truth, if he never changed, then that's his journey then.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, and you still can love this human and support, and you are doing your work, so your body's gonna take care of everything that it needs to be taken care of,
Yeah.
as long as, yeah. And I, yeah, absolutely. That's wow, that's such a hardcore for your heart and liver to have these all meat. And
It is. No, we do
was he
not cook in
moody?
the house though. What was
Did
that?
you notice that moodiness and stuff? Like, did you notice his behavior that changed?
Well, when he first went through it, when it was kind of my idea, like probably 3, 4 years ago, oh boy, yeah, it was rough.
Oh God.
And but this time around when it was his choice, nope.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel good, I feel better. And even we went on vacation in July and he did have more meat days than what he usually ever does. And he's the one that said, like, I'm not feeling so good. And I was like,
There we go. Finally. Yes. I'm sorry, but I'm happy.
yeah, I mean, me too. And I mean, even he is happy too and stuff. And so now
Really
he's
cool.
starting to lead by example for other people too. And that's just amazing for me too. But like, we don't cook in the house. He's always respected that.
Aw.
Before he would, like, maybe he would grill something, but it was outside. But yeah, I'm to the point I can't even stand to smell it anymore. So
Heck
yeah.
no. Well, this is interesting what you're saying, because I don't know, me like being on fruit this journey for so long. I haven't lived in a house that has meat and or dairy for so many years.
Mhm.
Well, I got here to my family house, and they all eat meat. They all eat dairy, and I'm just like, I feel like I got to the point of accepting others'
Mhm.
choices, and I just was like, oh, that smells like, I like the smells of everything. Maybe I like the smells of herbs and everything. When they cook something at the beginning, I kind of felt like, I was raised that way, where all these smells were coming from, very similar smells. So that reminded me of my childhood.
Mhm.
And I felt more, actually, wow, I started detoxing a lot of stuff. So that feeling of feeling like home, like I would be that little Magdalena, you know what I mean? Again,
Mhm.
smelling the same things from the childhood that brought my, just like reminding me of love, of
Yeah.
a house that I was, yeah, in love with, and family, and always loving. Um, Mom around, and it's just like, it reminded me of that feeling safe and home, like at home fully in my heart. And that I released so much stuff from my lungs. I did like this lung detox after Maui, after the fires. So, and I released so much yellow mucus on the next day. And then on the next day, I'm like, wow, I'm actually among, these people that eat meat and dairy. And it's great. And they never made me feel like I am a weirdo or something. It took years, but it was
Mhm.
so worth it. And then they even welcomed me with like watermelon bananas.
Oh, that's so sweet. My
Yeah.
family's that way too, which I always just say, like, they just know I'm strange anyway, but they just live with it that way, which so that is great. But
Yeah.
when I go
Yeah.
into other people's homes, I mean, I guess it really depends on what they are cooking. If they are, some of it does still kind of
Bother.
makes me, yeah, bothers me, turns my stomach. But other stuff, yeah, I mean, that's their home, so I definitely respect their home and their wishes, and it's my choice to be there too.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
fortunately, in our own home, we don't. So
You I always like I always protect myself before, like, in the being in the room like this. Even in the kitchen, I prepare my fruits, and then I see them just like playing with meat, and but they're very clean. Very clean. They don't, like in Polish family, you do you with the meat, you know what I mean? You fight with the
right.
meat in the kitchen, but like you have
Yeah.
it all over the place. Here it's American Polish house, so it's different.
Yeah.
And they are very kind of like organized, and when they put meat, they put it in a on the just a pot, and it's doesn't require more room. It's very clean,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
it doesn't
good.
spray everywhere. Yeah. And the only thing that's the smell, but I get used to it. I think because like I said, it reminds me of my child. I don't know, I didn't smell everything they did. But they, you know, I don't know. I think it's here. So the more we detox, the more we feel, oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt me. Oh my gosh, this can
Yeah.
hurt me, you know. Oh, what? I just smelled that detergent. Oh my gosh, I never smelled that, you know. And you're like, oh, I need to detox that. Well, no, the body will take care of it. These are just very simple aspects of daily basis that the body will take care of it. But the most beautiful thing was on the first one, the day one, I showed up here, and the kids show me eating watermelon, and they're like looking at their mom. They have a dinner, they have like pizzas, and there's like a 1-year-old, 4 and 5, and they're like looking at me, Chicha, Madi, can we have your watermelon instead? And mama is like, after you eat your dinner, you're gonna have watermelon. I'm like, oh God, what a fermentation, but it's better this than nothing, you know, just making them start somehow.
Uh-huh.
And the oldest is like, okay. And he put his meal on his side. After dinner, I'm gonna wait until the dinner ends, and I'm gonna come to Chicha eat watermelon. And she's like looking at him, you know, his mom, and she's like, that's not how it works. You need to eat in order to get a watermelon. You need to eat that dinner. He's like, no, you said after the dinner ends, you know, or whatever, we finish dinner. So I'm waiting until we finish dinner so I can have a watermelon. And he didn't even touch it. And then other siblings started copying him. And they're like, we want a watermelon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's it. And that's how they started. So, and then next day was banana and ice cream. I made them banana and ice cream. They're addicted to it. They want to eat nothing but banana ice cream and
That's
breakfast.
wonderful. And
Yeah.
they can.
And then I like very respectful. So I, you know, they still feed them, right? We would meat in there. So I'm like, eat first what mama gave you, because you want to be respectful. That's their house. I can't
Absolutely.
make rules here. And then Chacha will make a banana ice cream. Okay. So, you know, they pretend they take a one bite and Chacha, banana ice cream. And, you know, the youngest one that it's 1 year old, little one, she freaking, I don't know, she's so grown up on her age. She runs to me and she's like, Chacha, Chacha, nanas, you know, and she's like shaking, give me these bananas. You know, and it was just like, oh my God, that right, like my heart is growing, you know, it just was so beautiful to experience. And I had took videos and stuff. It's just like, wow, what a footage I have.
How amazing children are that they know what they're supposed to have. And when you give them what they are supposed to have,
Yeah.
you know how much light they bring. And that's amazing. So
Yes.
you're there for a reason then.
I believe, you know, yes, they are here for me, you know, and I'm there for them as well.
Yeah.
So it's like an energy exchange. It's such a beautiful thing. I can't even explain. And you know, what's the funnest part is when kids wake up in the morning, sometimes very early, and they scream, "Cha-cha, banana and ice cream." I'm like, dang, it's so early.
Oh my
Can you
God.
just come back to bed? You know, yeah, it's so funny.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and they eat a lot of fruits. Also, like, you know, I'm gonna make a apple pie with them today, and it's just like everything is just fruit based. Like all my products that I make on Maui, same fruit based. Everything is fruit based. So I'm gonna share with them some of my recipes that I make on Maui for the store. So yeah, they were so excited. So I'm so excited to see their reactions for the apple pie, like something new that I never had, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
really neat. That's good. Well, my question about that was for our show last week, we did talk with Casey, and I was very sure she said that people with anxiety, she can see it in the area of their spleen, which we know anxiety usually comes from the adrenals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But does the spleen ever have anything to do with anxiety as well?
I personally feel like each organ has a little aspect, plays a little role in a body with everything. Some or less, some more, right? The spleen is definitely an organ. Like my brother has double spleen. So having double, imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah, what a case that would be.
Mhm.
But I do believe that it can impact our well-being as well on that level, because all the blood that is pumped in the spleen area, right, and all the just like cells that are there, they are responding to the actions from the outside world too, right? So they all work together. So I believe it can be connected to it as well.
Right. Yeah, I've never really, even in the videos, all the ones I've watched, and even the reading, like the spleen usually doesn't come up very much.
It's like, mm-hmm. It's like with when they say we don't need tonsils. You know what I mean? It's like with spleen. It's like with the I forgot what's that word here in English? Wyrostek robaczkowy.
No, I don't know Polish. So.
Oh, here, like
Your
that
appendix?
they're taking it out. That
The appendix?
part of.
The appendix?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. See, appendix. Yeah, I had it like somewhere there, and what is that word? Appendix. Yes, and the appendix, same thing. And they just like to take everything out, right? And no one talks about it. Even on the internet, they won't talk about it. But appendix is also connected to your immune system, and it's also connected to the way you think, the mood, and the bacteria can gather there, and no one talks about it. Or even when you appear, the problem appears, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor is like, we need to check it out, and these people are just like searching internet how to help yourself naturally, and of course the answer is not showing up, and they going following what they've been told to do, where we know that we can also do the other way. Just hydrate yourself, and the pain may go away. It can be just like a response from even other organs that can push impact on that certain organ. I feel spleen can be connected to the way your immune system works, and also the way how that has also impact the way you feel, which can impact your mood and stress level, the hormones, the way they work together as well. And the spleen is like, why do we have all these organs? And if the less they talk about something, the more important it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, it's always like that. It's like the least information is given, that means something. That it's like, I feel energetically that spleen is kind of connecting us with the back of the body as well, keeping us straight. So it has also that power of keeping the body together, and also keep our back straight. That's how I feel energetically, how it works, also. But I also feel like it's connected to all these aspects that you mentioned, and it can have impact on that as well. And I know internet does not tell a lot, or I don't know, there's like even books are not more, like they stopped releasing books, or they are not allowed to share certain things, which is sad to see, because we can't get to the root, right, of the source, like to the source, what's going on with the body. You may learn about the certain organ, but it doesn't say what is responsible. And even if they will, it's like we need to double check if that's even the case, what when they say what the heart is responsible for, and it's just like something opposite, or let's say, you know what I mean? There's always something that it's not said, right? It's just a little bit of truth, which is sad.
I think they treat our organs and just our bones and nervous system, they treat them as all individual and they don't treat them as a whole. So even when they're talking about the spleen, they're talking just specifically about the spleen. They're not saying how it works with the body as a whole. Same
No.
with your appendix, your liver. And that's the thing with Dr. Morse is he's treating the body as a whole, and he's allowing the body to do what it's supposed to be doing, always in that constant state of healing, not here's a pill to help your heart. Let's get your body going so that your body can do what it needs to do to allow it to heal itself properly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what all clicked for me so much. Just knowing that it is us, it is our body. We are the ones that do it.
Yes. And like I mentioned before at the beginning, every little organ is responsible for an issue in the body. They're all connected. Let's say someone has a vision issue. Okay. That means everything is shut down. But what level is the most shut down, and what we need to take care of first, Yep. Yeah.
We're like a factory in our body, and then all the different organs are the different departments. And when one department is overwhelmed, another department shows up to help. And then that department starts failing because it's helping somewhere else.
Yes. So. Yes. It's like a big government inside of our body. So you are your own president.
Yes. And you got to make sure it's not the ego that's trying to be the president.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yes, you got to keep that one at bay.
Of course, but you want to work on your ego so you can release these guys out there so they can listen to you. That's what it is, right? I just take control over your body and control it. Know how to work on your emotions. Don't suppress it. And a lot of people just giving up and they suppress. Like your husband was like, no offense, I really care about your husband. But what I'm trying to say here is, I'm not judging him, by the way. But he says, oh, I feel, great, like on meat and dairy, right? That was a temporary time where he said that. And then he felt like, oh, I don't feel good anymore. Let them be, let them have fun temporary, because they're going to struggle eventually, sooner or later.
Yeah. And it came upon his own realization, his own everything. And that's what, this is totally off subject, but not really, but that kind of thing, allowing everything in life to happen in time and when it's supposed to happen, it's so much better, because every time I try to force a situation, whether it be getting someone to eat something, or I just really have to go and buy this thing right now or something like that, it never turns out right. So like, everything has to happen on its time. And if you're supposed to have it, it'll be there. We've even talked before with Toni, like if something's wrong with you, it'll just start growing somewhere near your house or in your yard or something like that. So everything in life you're supposed to have, it will come to you when it's ready.
Yes, yes, perfectly said. And I also, I apologize, but I need to go very soon.
Yep, no problem.
But I want to just add to your beautiful thought. Even when we are healed inside, people, we really often don't realize, I like to include it in my protocols, that they just don't realize that you can impact that tree that is out there with the way you think. It's all connected, and people don't realize that very often. We don't realize that, and who cares about stuff like that? No one, unless it's a little bit out of this world, and I think I am. But
we all are down here.
Yeah. So it's like you are, like, let's say, healed. You feel amazing. Oh, superwoman, But even if you are and helping other people, but you have a little negative thought, and then you see, oh my gosh, that tree what happened to it? Why it's dying? Well, that's also reflection to what you are suppressing and what you're giving, and also the way you see it, you know. And if you have other people that doing exactly the same, you feed that energy, you feed the nature with that energy, and then it can explode, let's say, you know. Unless it's something else used on top, of course, and it doesn't come from nature, then it's totally different experience. But
Very true. Very true. Oh yeah.
so I believe in power of like the human. We are such a beautiful, potent, strong, and like unlimited beings that we can just have, like, all these shows are shown to us play like their characters are for the reason to show us that, I don't know, like a magic show or whatever, there's always truth in all this information, you know, that it's not only a trick to trick us, but it's also to show us that we are capable of things like this. You know, we can see what other people can see. So if someone would tell me the sky is purple today, you should believe that it's purple because they see it purple. Maybe they see more than we do, right? Yeah. So there's always the truth. There's something that it's hidden. Of course, I'm not talking about people that were taking drugs or something, but people that are clean, that and health.
Absolutely. Nope. I think we're all on the same page with that. We're very, very powerful.
Yes, we are, and we can like impact the world to be a better place after all. And we can always unite and just even talking about certain subject. Let's say that about fires in Maui happened. I decided to not to talk about it anymore because I feed that energy, and then it provokes more, you know, to come or to create, and people are gonna be talking. So that place is gonna be always kind of like infected with that energy, and it's hard later to remove it because not everybody gonna remember that day of what happened, you know. Yeah, so I think it's important to talk it through, and then just leave it. Just work on it, work on improvements, what you can change, what you can improve, what you can bring in, what you can change. Yeah, and maybe heal. Oh, that's the right word to say. Just heal it and let it go.
That's a very good way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Magdalena, you said you had to leave at 1 o'clock. It's 1:03.
Thank you for reminding me that too. Yeah.
And something happened with the stream, so I don't even know if people can still hear us. My screen is all of a sudden a little different, but
it's still, I have it on my iPad and it's still showing. So
okay, good.
Still running,
but the beautiful words by you, Magdalena. I think this is a good time to end our podcast, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Real quick, Toni, can you say how people can get in touch with her and follow her?
Yeah, it's in the description.
Okay.
It should be. There is a link to the website. It is thecoconutgirl.com.
Raw coconut girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. The raw, is it the raw or the raw?
No, it's just raw. Raw coconut. Yeah.
Raw Coconut Girl, and Facebook, you can find her under the same name, and both links are in the description, in the show notes.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for everything, Toni. Thank you so much for a wonderful show, and Magdalena, thank you for all of your beautiful information.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sara. Yeah. Just want to make sure, because it's virtuous unicorn. So make sure I talk to the right people.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Toni, for such a beautiful heart and always helping others and trying to be such an inspiration. Is just such a crucial thing to do. And thank you for connecting all of us as well.
Well, thank you for being here. We love it. And we'll talk to you soon again, I'm sure.
Sure. Absolutely.
Sara, thank you for always being here. And I always love to hear from you too. So love to everyone. And till the next time.
Bye-bye.
Mahalo. Bye-bye. Woo.